Before the age of 32, he had conquered half the world. He never lost, and he built what may have been the greatest empire in history. But the day he died, everything began to collapse. His army scattered, his generals turned against each other, and the empire he built fell apart. But how? How could such a powerful empire disappear so quickly? The answer is far darker than you think. In this story, we're going to do something special. Using advanced artificial intelligence techniques, we've transformed old historical engravings and paintings into vivid, lifelike scenes. This way, you won't just hear history, you will witness it as closely as possible. In 356 BC, Alexander opened his eyes to the world. His father, Philip II, was not just a king, but a system builder. He created a disciplined professional army, and Alexander was born into that system. He was personally educated by Aristotle, but his real training began in war. At just 16, he was already crushing rebellions. At 20, when he took the throne, he wasn't just a king, he was the leader of a fully prepared war machine. His first goal: power. He brought the Greek city-states under control one by one. Those who resisted were destroyed. And then he moved toward one of the greatest targets in history, the Persian Empire. Was this just a war? Of course not. This was an economic revolution. After the Battle of Granicus, the spoils of war began to flow. Gold, silver, royal treasures. It was immense, and this was only the beginning. After the victory at Issus, the Persian treasures were in Alexander's hands. The wealth of kings was now feeding his army. But the real turning point was Gaugamela. With the defeat of Darius, he tore out the heart of the Persian Empire. And Alexander didn't just take land, he seized the greatest economic power in the world. Persian treasuries, Babylon, Susa, Persepolis, tons of gold and silver. And that meant one thing: Alexander was no longer just a commander, he was building an empire. He continuously financed his army. He strengthened them without struggle. He recruited new soldiers. He built new cities. Cities like Alexandria were not just symbols, they were centers of trade, the control points of money and power. He conquered through war, but more importantly, he expanded through governance. He integrated different cultures into his system. He kept Persian officials in power. He maintained the tax system. It was a brilliant move, but also a dangerous one. Because this empire depended on one man, Alexander himself. As he pushed deeper into Asia, control became harder. The soldiers were exhausted, the generals were uneasy, but Alexander would not stop. He advanced into India. He believed he had reached the edge of the world, but here, something changed. For the first time, he stopped. His army refused to go further. Even wealth had no power here anymore, and Alexander was forced to turn back. But that return was the beginning of his end. The system he built was powerful, but fragile. Different cultures, different loyalties, held together by a single leader. Then, 323 BC, Babylon. Alexander fell ill. Days passed, and one day he fell silent. The cause is unknown, but the result was clear. The empire was now leaderless. A power vacuum formed, and that vacuum filled with chaos. This is what turned his generals against each other. The empire shattered, cities burned, borders vanished, and what was once the greatest power in the world slowly faded into history. He conquered the world, but the system he built could not survive him. And maybe the real question is this: did Alexander conquer the world, or did the world consume him? For more stories like this, subscribe to the channel.